No, no. It's just it might as well have been married that long.
This is true.
Hmm. Sounds like someone was dragging their feet. Anyway, but if I don't have any stones to throw in that department. Hmm. Any case, I hope everyone's well. Where is Steph again? I know she wasn't going to make it here tonight. But she had something to do. What was it?
She's at a work convention that she's suffering through.
She got one of those things she has to go to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
she's not having fun.
That's not
Yes.
cool. That's
Well,
not good at all.
obviously I miss my favorite player, but I will go on. I'm a loud favorites. Okay. Her energy keeps me going.
Hey, it's good to have one.
This is where we all revolve. As clearly Andrew's been reading books that give him the wrong information about being a parent. You're never supposed to have a favorite.
Y'all aren't my kids.
Every player is a child to the game master in some way, shape, or form.
Well, if that's the case, you've been a terrible parent, Todd Howard.
Absolutely, I don't have favorites. And here's the thing: is as you guys have said, I'm Todd Howard. Clearly, I am not a parent. I'm just a very aggressive, seller of goods.
I mean, I just used the coupon code that gave me access to all the DLC.
You know, it's okay. I'm adding more DLC.
Yeah.
Of course you are. And you're gonna re-release all your games on a new console or version. Oh wait, you already did that with Foundry. Never mind.
They just did it
I,
with Fallout 4.
I did it with most of the. I did most of the backporting. Now I'm just giving you guys a new up-resed ship.
hmm Sure.
No, actually, that's why I honestly have been feeling like pop poop today is because the fact that I stayed up way too late playing with Dungeon Draft.
Nice.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed torturing yourself for our benefit.
So what has happened in Giant Slayer will happen in Skulls and Shackles. That's all I'm gonna say.
What happened in Giant Slayer?
The layering and all that.
I mean the thing that meant so we couldn't see the things we were fighting, even though we were on the same level as them.
I am still in a learning phase, and I am getting better.
Hmm.
That was funny. I couldn't hold that one in. That one was funny.
Hmm. Okay, so last time we played, it was about a month ago, 4 weeks ago, almost a month.
Hmm.
Hmm. Sorry again about canceling last time, but my ear infection, which I still have, but nowhere near like the level of pain or like ear pressure popping sort of stuff. I'm actually functionable as opposed to being 2 weeks ago when I was not.
You gotta take care of yourself, buddy. That is what it is. If a game goes away, we'll have games later.
Very
Yep,
true.
yep.
Mhm.
I
Fortunately,
cancel half the time when I'm not feeling so great, so I'm never gonna razz you for like needing a night off.
Not that said, I'm very glad I don't try and run a game on a work night. That sounds terrible. I need to do my prep. Well, at least I need to do part of my prepping right before game time, like in the hours leading up to it, so that's all fresh in my head. That's just, I guess, me taking the easy road.
No, that's fair. But I mean, Giant Slayer's recorded, and Skulls and Shackles is Skulls and Shackles.
Hmm.
Return or Rise of the Rune Lords is very easy to prep for because I don't really have to think too much for it at all.
Well, as you said when we were voting on which AP to do for that slot, it is a very linear game.
Hmm.
In any case, let me take a little drink of my water and I'll go ahead and get started on that recap.
yeah.
Hmm. Giant Slayer and Rise of the Rune Lords are like my easiest to run games Period.
Sometimes the railroad has benefits.
Hmm.
Last time on Seattle by Night. Your pursuit for clues on the trail of Halsey Phillips at the club she was supposedly last spotted at before her disappearance goes less than ideal. Aside from confirming that Halsey had indeed been there the night of her disappearance, from the otherwise unhelpful bartender, though her unhelpful nature might be put off partly to the social ineptitude on Pius's part. Turns out that becoming hot does not automatically carry with it social graces. Attempting to access camera footage is also stonewalled. Any attempting to meet with the owner is also shot down. Something about them being away, or at least not here. All Alvin was able to learn on that front was that he was at a meeting of some sort from a very unhelpful bouncer. Ashley and Olivia have a run-in with Echo, a member of Thomas Reynolds' coterie, and a Bruja child of Jabber. Initially, this meeting doesn't go well. Eventually, the two of them, whether it's Ashley's wheedling or Olivia's pitiful state of pitifulness, managed to get her off. Because remember, at this time she was deafened by her attempt to read the club and stuff happened. Um, Pitifulness managed to get her off to one side at a booth where a conversation ensues. She's been ignoring her sire's calls, apparently, and has been less than caught up with the Sabbat concerns beyond the prince's announcements the night before. Outside the club's main room, in the entryway where sounds are more muted, Ashley and Olivia finally convince Echo to answer her sire's latest call. This leads to a short, intense conversation between her and her sire, ultimately deflating Echo's apparent typical aggressive nature at how worried her sire truly was, as well as how close to the blue the signs of Sabbat activity are here. Echo also learns Olivia's sire is Lyra and therefore closely associated with her own sire. Not that Olivia picks up on anything on account of temporarily being deaf. Pius and Alvin leave the club and almost manage to evade the other two, but Ashley catches sight of them and brings them back to Olivia and Echo. The former of whom drew lots of attention to herself with her moaning and acting as a result of her temporary deafness and desire to see her mother. In the ensuing conversation, it is learned that the blue is domain, and feeding in another's domain without permission is a big and rude no-no, which, unknowingly or not, all of you violated this night. Alvin has the forethought to leave a message with one of the doormen, an apology, and where he could be reached at the Daily Bagel for further conversation. Eventually, the team, including Olivia, who is no longer being entirely treated like a sack of potatoes, as she had for the past hour or so, moves on. Still, attempting to question people on the way to the scene where the Sword of Cain was left painted on a wall meets no success, with Olivia's insane nature driving away any potential witnesses by asking for their ears. Upon reaching the alley, two things are noted, particularly by Ashley. The first, a rat takes off scurrying down an alley, and the second, a manhole cover looks improperly placed, not set into the spot as it should be. After a preternatural boost of speed from Alvin, your Ventru snatches up the rat. Probably a waste of his good talents, but its attempts to gnaw into his hand are entirely thwarted by fortitude. Pius tries to calm the rat, but fails entirely. Ultimately, Pius speaks to the rat, learning that they are the only big things the rat has seen, and it was trying to report to a big cheese. Convincing it to take you to this individual is easy enough, but keeping up with it as it leads you through a dizzying trail at even more dizzying pace is a challenge. At the end of the chase, you find a condemned building containing one Nosferatu Ancilla named Howl. A short conversation reveals that he has been watching the alleyway for signs of the enemy since the Prince's Ghoul's investigation the night it was first found. He largely seems to rely on rats, ghoul or otherwise, to be his eyes and ears, which does leave gaps as the instructions that can be passed on to such creatures lack in any sort of complexity or contingencies beyond returning to him. A mention of the moved manhole cover leads the four of you with Hal back to the scene, where it has since been replaced properly into its hole. Upon Ashley lifting it up, the lot of you stare into the terrified eyes of a homeless-looking man who screams and falls back into the hole. Alvin tries to grab him and succeeds, but not in stopping the fall, and therefore starts falling in as well. Ashley then grabs onto Alvin and nearly leads all three of them toppling into the hole, but a gritting of teeth and a mustered Amazonian willpower The bookworm manages to succeed in pulling up Alvin and his attached hobo, who seems as terrified at being pulled up as he did at falling. His panic is calmed by Olivia's madness. The conversation that follows quickly reveals that Jim, the hobo, has seen far too much. In a too calm voice, wrought by Olivia's dementation, he answers any questions asked. He was here, hiding in the dumpster the night the Sabbat came through. Seemed very resigned to death by the monsters, of which he includes you. He tells you everything that happened that night from his perspective. Since he's seen too much, Hal offers to be the one to kill him, since the rest of you are all still new to this. Alvin waves off that offer and inquires as to the man's history before he was homeless. Learns he was a welder before getting drafted into the military for Vietnam. His homecoming, like most veterans of that conflict, left much to be desired. Alvin, feeling sorry for the man, or perhaps being driven by that most innate of his natures, extends an olive branch to Jim, giving him an option that doesn't mean his death. An agreement is reached, and he requests to get his stuff, leading everyone except Olivia and Ashley down into the sewer. Inside, you find an abandoned Nosferatu hidey hole of sealed-off sewer tunnel, bricked up on either end with alcoves and nooks carved out by hand. Garbage bags are scattered throughout the place, either trash or belongings for Jim. According to Hal, it may have belonged to a Nosferatu named Adam, who suffered final death some 7 years ago. Jim collects a ratty backpack and a single garbage bag of stuff as Alvin gives his conditions. Not talking about monsters and the need to take some of Alvin's blood. Hal gives a look of silent disapproval, but respects Alvin's right to choose in this. The first of 3 nights of blood begin a path towards a bonded retainer. Alvin cites a dislike for wasting resources, but that may just be a ready excuse. As to the ones that found it, Hal defers the right to claim the hidey hole to Pius. He would have to shelter any of the family that needed to hide from the sun or similar, but otherwise, it's entirely his own. This is not domain, mind you. Domain represents control of feeding grounds, but a haven, an auxiliary place to lay low and sleep the day away. As the night draws closer to midnight, Alvin makes sure to send a message of Kyle to take care and teach his latest acquisition once daytime rolls around. Presumably, the coterie, or at least Alvin, then return to the bagel to ensure Jim is properly ensconced in the shower and washing off the grime of accumulated over years. Which brings us to where we start tonight, on the way to the bagel.
Wait, so we did turn the guy, the hobo, or not? Not yet.
Not turn, made him a ghoul, or started making him a ghoul.
Okay.
It's not an embrace. Remember, embracing someone as a vampire is a very different and a very much more tracked sort of thing than simply giving someone blood and making them your servitor.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. That one room that we were in was pretty. Wait, so we're on our way back to the bagel. We're driving back.
Presumably.
Okay.
Again, y'all didn't quite specify how you were getting back, or even necessarily that you were going back to the bagel, but I assumed you were going back to the bagel, based off where the recording left off last session.
And the homeless guy is with us?
Yes.
All right, yeah.
Currently, his sense of fear is still blunted by Olivia's ability, but it will wear off sometime in the next hour, presumably. Actually, she got 2 successes. How long does that last? Boop, boop, boop. Discipline, dementation, passion. 1 hour. Yep. So yeah. So I'm a little less than an hour.
Okay. So where are we gonna put him when we get back to the bagel, Alvin?
I mean, he'll be staying in the lounge room downstairs, shower, the whole 9 yards. Supervised, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that where Pius's bed is at as well? Downstairs?
It's where people have lounged, yeah. Just
Okay.
crashed on the couch.
Mm-hmm. Technically, the only one that has a dedicated bed downstairs is, I believe, Alvin.
Okay.
But there is a lounge room and other spaces down there.
Oop, and ran upstairs.
Gosh darn it, I told y'all you could get your drinks and stuff. Actually, no, I didn't tell anyone to get their drinks. I just said that I'll be starting in 5 minutes. Okay, yeah, that one's on me.
I heard the dog yipping at her, and then she ran upstairs. She might have went to let the dog out.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not actually all that concerned about it. Hmm.
What are we gonna do about Olivia being gone? Are you
Oh,
piloting her?
once, somewhat, yes. I mean, if it comes up and it's really needed, yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, kind of fade to background. If it was in the middle of a transition to a new night, I would just make up some sort of bullshit that her sire drags her off and does stuff like the last time she missed a session. But we are still very much in the middle of this night.
Okay.
She also might not be feeling the greatest considering that she's still recovering from deafness, so she could probably lounge at the bagel depending on where we decide to go beyond that.
This is true.
Babbling at the everything bagel.
Yes. Yeah, I don't really know what else to do tonight.
Hmm,
Mostly just because of the fact that our leads came up pretty dry.
indeed.
I
Which probably was
suppose
also partly. Yeah, go ahead.
I suppose that we could possibly poke at Elysium and see about what people know about what was the clan stuff said? The Sombra?
What was what?
What was the clan that Steph was talking about in terms of might have perpetrated like the weirdness at this area, the La Sombra?
You mean the shadow stuff?
Yeah.
Yep, that probably yes. I don't.
Because
I,
Jim
I
Jim
was
told
I was listening to the recording, but I don't remember anyone mentioning Lasombra. But then again, shadow powers. There's only really one clan that uses shadow powers. So
right, because Jim was talking about how like use all these weird abilities and stuff like that.
hmm
So
But as part of your basic training over the 5 years, you would absolutely know that based on general clan allegiances, the nearly the entire like lineup of Clan Lasombra is part of the Sabbat,
mhm.
Ooh.
with very rare exceptions. What was
Because we
that,
don't
Velvis?
I said ooh when you were given the source of information.
Hmm.
because Elysium's kind of just a general like roaming ground for everyone. So
Yep. Unless you're tossed out by the keeper, you're all welcome at Elysium.
mhm. So kind of can act as a hub of like, hey, see who's around, see who has information and different things like that.
hmm
Could also talk to Elio Vitale, the father at that one church, to see if he's been affected by this recent turn of events. And he's also a Lasombra, so he might know better about his clan's peculiarities.
Indeed. These are both excellent leads to potentially be chasing. Hmm. Ah, Ashley's back. I didn't realize Ashley made it back. I was kind of holding up, waiting for
Nope,
Anna to get back.
I'm
But
back.
Oh,
here
you're
she
back.
is.
Okay.
hmm She
Had
just
to,
came in, left a text about her being back without saying anything.
I was being patient. The dog was bugging me to go outside, so
Mm-hmm.
That's what I figured.
hmm Back at the bagel. Upon returning to the bagel, it is nearing midnight, and the storefront is dark as you left it, though there are hints of movement inside the window. Entering the bagel, whether by sewer entrance or straight through the front door,
Back
which
door.
is your what?
Back door.
Okay, you come in through the back door. Is that the door in an alleyway, or is that the sewer door?
That's the alleyway door, considering I gotta park the car anyway.
Okay, fair enough. Entering the bagel, when entering the main room, reveals no hidden stalkers, beyond the wraith floating after you, perceivable only by Olivia's gaze, nor any wifely intruders, or any similarly enforced guests. Just Kyle, sitting at one of the tables, the The missing persons sections of the Seattle Herald spread out around him as he tinkers with a familiar jury-rigged device. The stolen police scanner made operational by Pius Casino. I'm sorry, not Casino, Alvin's uh, tech possessions. Hmm.
Yeah, you really ruined my late night shenanigans of playing NetHack into the night.
Yeah.
Darn you,
Stolen police.
Pius. It's the only
Yeah.
The
reason why I
stolen.
was so mad.
The stolen police scanner, previously gathering dust down the stairs after its failure and aiding in the pursuit of the Fordon Butcher. Random snippets from dispatchers and other chatter play softly in static-filled bursts in the otherwise quiet room. An open bottle of Jameson's, down considerably from where it had been at when celebrating the Bagel's first successful business day not too long ago, sits next to a cup at the table. No coffee dilutes the amber liquid in the glass. On the opposite side of the table sits a mug of what is presumably fresh coffee, next to an almost familiar clunky laptop, though it faces the seat on that side, which currently has no occupant. Kyle will look up somewhat blearily at the lot of you as you enter. Oh, hey, any luck out there?
I like how it just pops open the sheet instead of the actual picture.
Oh, yeah, 'cause you have permission to see the sheet, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For everyone else, it should be showing the bio and info page. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nah, you're good. You're good. I mean, Olivia's a little out of sorts, so I'm just gonna get her a pillow and some other accoutrements to, kind of relax. The club was what it was. Found an eyewitness. Points to Jim.
That the one you messaged me about? He says as his eyes kind of pause as he looks at the hobo, or the homeless man.
Nods. Laptop
Jim, who is
being
still in very desperate need for a shower, honestly a bath, and a fresh change of clothes. 2 or 3 bars of soap wouldn't be amiss either. Probably a good few goodie bags of dental hygiene stuff as well. Whether it's the late hour, the drink consumed, or simply the latest heap of oddness piled on all the rest, Kyle doesn't seem to have much idea as to what to say.
guessing Lucy's here.
Ah. I had a feeling she'd be there if she was.
Hmm. How'd you guess? And
But
as he says that, the muffled sound of a flushing toilet echoes out dimly from the direction of the restrooms, followed by the usual sounds of sink and the rubbing of hands on the typical paper products before the door is lightly kicked open and a youthful voice hollers out at Kyle. Hey, big guy, you mind if I help myself to a bagel or something? I need some sugar. As it rounds the corner, you recognize one Lucy Pines, school adopted daughter, ward of Bruce and Mylena. Oh, hey, you're back. To her credit, she recovers considerably quicker at Jim's presence than Kyle.
How's it hanging, kiddo?
Um, all right, I guess. Hey, sorry about, I guess dropping in unannounced, but,
You're fine.
and at this, Kyle will sort of take over. Yeah, Mylena and Bruce dropped by, and they're doing something dangerous. Felt the need to drop her off somewhere safe. Kind of intended to call in a favor from you on that, but you weren't here, so and I knew they were kind of associates of yours. So I just said yes. That's not a problem, is it?
No, not at all. As said, I owe him a favor. And watching Lucy for a little bit is no problem.
They're out there chasing down something about the whole resurgence of sword up the butt assholes. Too dangerous for me, supposedly. I can't
I would
tell if they're
agree.
trying to figure out if Seattle's getting too hot and we need to leave, or if they're planning on trying to curry favor with the prince or other powers that be in exchange for info, you know?
Could be a mix of all of it. Just trying to follow lead up myself, honestly.
Yeah, Halsey Phillips, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Not much of an internet presence on her. But then again, not many people have one yet.
No, I don't imagine so. It's not like they've got accounts that are already attached to several things across the web.
Belle, since you're back here, can I get that bagel?
Go for it.
Sweet. And she helps herself to hopping behind the counter. They didn't say how long they'd be, but is it really all right if I guess, crash here for a couple days? I don't mind working if y'all need like an extra hand or two up here.
As I said, a good favor. Therefore, if you got a spare room, we can host you for a little bit. It won't be too bad.
She'll smile and not say anything really further on that.
Kind of look to Ashley and Pius. Feel free to make yourselves at home, but time being, not really sure what else we're doing this evening.
All right. What do I do? And Pius would just start wandering around thinking of something to do.
Like I said, we could head to Elysium. We could poke at Father Emilio Vitale, but
Hey, Mister, not to bother you too much, but you mind pointing me in the direction of that shower?
yep, that was gonna be my next thing. Just getting my associates set before we got you taken care of. Did we
Right.
manage to wrangle together a fresh outfit?
Sure. I mean, got a few ready to go down there. I mean, granted, most of them are like just in case sort of things. Like if you or me or Joshua needed something real quick to change into, they're not very fancy or nothing, but
That'll
they're
need to
clean.
be. Yeah, clean and, you know, free are this man's two favorite words.
These nights, you bet they are. Hmm. Man, I've
After
been
you get
wearing the same underwear for like 3 months now. This is gonna be good.
Let's get you downstairs, and then maybe afterward we'll get you set up with a little bit of something to eat.
Sure thing.
So Alvin will take care of that if Pius and Ashley want to poke at things.
What would Pius want to do right now? We just got a new friend, but now Alvin's showing him down at the basement. You know what? He's gonna make his way to the Warrens.
No,
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling the others you're leaving for the Warrens? Or is
I
Pius just ghosting all of them?
Pius is just gonna head out to the Warrens.
he can send us a text if he, needs anything.
Hmm.
We do all have phones now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Indeed.
I would be in a sewer though.
Yeah, reception's gonna be absolutely spotty down there. I mean, reasons and shit. But if you need to send a message, you can always go to the surface.
True. I can send a rat out or squeakers. Yep. I have a way to communicate still.
Moment. Do so many people, so many people. So the shower downstairs is running. You get the sense Jim is probably going to be down there long after the effects of the whole fear nullification wear off. But I mean, if you're offering to let him take a free bath shower, he's probably going to get the most out of it he can.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, this guy's gonna enjoy the luxury.
I do need to find a new picture for him.
Alvin's
One.
Alvin's task tonight is mostly just to make sure that Jim is handled, is taken care of, and is not going to be a problem for future nights.
Plus, eventually, presumably, one more ready staff at the bagel. Once he's been cleaned up a bit.
Yeah. Like, even after his dementation wears off, like, Alvin needs to make sure that he understands, like, the limits and the expectations of things going forward, so he's not like caught off guard.
Mhm. I mean, if there's a place for him to come to his senses, a relaxing shower will absolutely give him something other than fear to focus on while he
Hmm.
tries to process everything. Hmm. Olivia has largely taken to sitting down to one of the unoccupied corner booths with her everything bagel and
Hmm.
seems to be continuing to rub at her ears.
It seems Ashley's poking at a lead, so while
Pius has, at some point while you were downstairs, vanished.
mhm. And Alvin's gonna go ahead and just drop a little call to the church while we're waiting.
Hmm. Yes, good evening.
Evening, Father Vitale. This is Mr. Veldrick. We spoke about a few days ago in context of the Fordon Butcher's activities.
Hmm. Yes, I believe he had been apprehended, yes? Or so
Indeed.
the news on the circuit seems to lead me to believe.
I'm actually calling to see if we can set up a meeting in the following days. I have curious questions about your clan and its capabilities, considering the recent events that have transpired.
Understandable. I myself am under the ever-increasing scrutiny as a result of return of certain undesirables. I assume you mean to wish to meet during the night, however, and not during the coming days.
That would be the case, yes.
Hmm.
Mostly an
Well,
informational request, as I have eyewitness accounts of people that might match the description of your clan's profiling.
hmm. Well, we can certainly set something up, yes. The catacombs of St. James Cathedral are open to a great many who wish shelter. Perhaps some of them may know a thing or two as well.
I would be most helpful. I just didn't want to infringe on you so suddenly.
Well, it's certainly nice for the politeness of it, though. I understand the urgency it must seem like for you.
He nods. Are you possibly free tomorrow, say midnight?
Certainly. My own, well, the more important meetings have already been taken care of. I had just had the sheriff breathing down my neck, though I understand the concern of the one whom he represents. Hmm.
I can completely understand the stress that comes with this.
Considering my clan's history, it is only natural that the prince would be casting an even more watchful eye in my direction. Hmm. But I have no wish to return to what I once was, and have found my solace here, even if it to the cost of myself being chained to such a place. I have, I suppose, found my calling is apt way of describing it.
That's good to hear.
Hmm.
I wish not to take too much more of your time. I appreciate you picking up. I guess we'll see you tomorrow at midnight.
Tomorrow at midnight,
You
with a
have
little
yourself a good
clunk.
evening.
With that, the phone will go silent as it is hung up. Hmm.
There, we can poke at them later.
Father Vitale, out of character, is one of the creations created by my other World of Darkness friends when when I had a series called Create a Vampire when I was making NPCs for this game.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
He's one of my favorites that they came up with.
Well, I'm glad that we're able to bring him back into the spotlight for you.
You're really quiet.
I said I'm glad that we're able to bring him back to the spotlight for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, even if you hadn't been, I would have found a way to worm him back in the upcoming nights. After all, the shadows are looming, and he's possibly your best expert on that on your side that you're aware of. What is that sound?
His fan.
No, that's louder than his fan. Sounds like some sort of big heavy machinery in the distance.
No, it's definitely my fan.
Weird. Alright, I need to switch back over to the
I'm now
text.
sitting in front of it so it doesn't directly hit the microphone.
In the meantime, Ashley's phone will ring.
She will answer it.
I will be right back.
Okay.
Okay. Child, are you all right? Are you well?
I am okay. We did some searching for a person that is missing. That's a friend of a friend for Elvin.
Mortal or affiliated?
Mortal.
Ah, well, could be worse. Not to sound heartless, but there was a great many times people of note went missing in the last series of conflicts. Still, you say you managed to witness some of these events. How close to the enemy did you come?
We didn't come to that close enough to the enemy at all. Out of character. This was what Jim told us, right?
Yeah,
hmm
that's what Jim told you.
Yeah.
It's just the way you phrased the message made him very concerned. You could see you had come into direct contact with them. So you're dealing with Worrywart Sire right now.
Yeah. But she'll explain to him how we found a hobo and dealt with him, but his story of what he had seen the night that the mark of Cain had been placed in the alley.
Yes, that does sound very much like the practices of Clan Lasombra. Though I must admit, child, I am surprised that the prince's own man did not manage to find this individual.
He was hiding in a kind of hidden corner of the part of the Warrens, not in the Warrens, but like seemed to have been a Nosferatu haven at some point.
Well, if that isn't a masquerade breach risk in and of itself, I don't know what.
Hmm.
Has this potential threat been dealt with?
Elvin has taken care of him.
Right, well, I won't pry any farther then. Just so long as you're not at risk. Still, you wish to know about what I know about Clan Lasombra and their shadowy powers?
Yes. As much as you can tell us that might help us.
Well, are you in any place where you can be overheard currently?
I am currently back at the bagel.
Which is a yes.
Yes.
Try and find somewhere private, please.
She will go and ask Elvin where she could go and be alone for a moment while she's on the phone.
Down in the sewers, just past the door, should be fine. Unless, you're worried about the rats.
Well,
Okay.
Reception might be difficult down there.
I'm back.
I mean, she still has the ghoul, the not the ghoul, but the thingy above her. But I'm not sure if it can hear the phone conversation too much.
Your
Mm.
other opportunity is, I guess, to go to the roof, go to one of the bathrooms, or any sort of other place.
We'll put her in the storage closet.
That works. Put me in the janitor's closet. We'll be fine.
Don't touch Joshua's stuff.
Nope.
Yep, don't reorganize the bottles. He gets really mad about that.
As I do IRL.
Yeah. So yeah, she'll
He's
go sit in the closet.
there's a bucket there that you can flip over and sit on and hopefully not crack.
Well, as you know, I do have some measure of those abilities myself. Not to any great depth. But I have picked up something from my, well, addiction.
Hmm.
That said, the abilities of Clan Sombra typically manipulate a source of power of some kind that pools from a adjacent realm, I guess. They call it the Abyss. Not to be confused, I think, with the Abyss in which most demons are currently banished. But that's another topic. They do, however, have a certain form of sorcery with their abyss, not just the discipline of their obtenebration, as it is called, but an actual ritualized form of magic involving the manipulation of it. Supposedly, they can even create these, I guess, realms consumed in the shadow if they are a particularly powerful practitioner. I believe they're called oubliettes, in which no one except the creator can even see or hear anything. The truly dire horror stories involve releasing mortals or vampire captives into such a maze or labyrinth and watch them slowly go insane, among other things.
Sounds
But
pretty
just the
dangerous.
manipulation and transmutation of shadows is not where their powers end. Not by any means. Their other typical practices include the uncommon common discipline of dominate and a gift with the powers of potence. But the nature of the Sabbat being what it does means that they could have any number of other gifts. Have I spoken much of the Valdery to you before?
I don't believe you have.
It is a ritual that holds the tangled mass of depraved lunatics that is the Sabbat together. They do it at all their great celebrations. They do it regularly as their very individual pacts. That's what they call their coteries. And so on. And in it, everyone provides some of their blood, and then they do a little ritual dance with that. And all take an equal sip, binding themselves together, kind of like, but entirely unlike, a blood bond. And because they are consuming each other's vita, they often learn each other's gifts. Or display otherwise unreasonable levels of loyalty to one another. Despite being inhuman monsters, of course.
They're basically a more fucked up version of the Tremere.
Careful who you say that around, child.
Well, yeah.
It is by partaking in this Valdery that the traitors of our clan gain that emblem that our regent was talking about just earlier this night.
Hmm.
Hmm. That said, the most basic forms of powers typically involve conjuring up shadowy abyss-like clouds that are utterly unnatural, block out all sight, block out sound, and have the potential to even suffocate mortals that are weak enough and caught within its cloud. Then, of course, the adept ability, which I myself do not yet have access to, is often the signature offensive move of the Lasombra. The ability to create massive tentacles and tendrils and arms, the arms of ottermen, they are sometimes called, lashing out and grabbing things and beating individuals to death. My knowledge of what lies beyond that is limited, but I do believe it involves some ability to transmute themselves into the shadows, or some other form of personal transmutation. I'm afraid my knowledge past that is quite dim. The Lost Sombra tend to guard their secrets, and tend to expunge any traitors quite efficiently.
Any knowledge is helpful at this point.
The only better option for you on seeking this sort of knowledge would probably be one Father Elio Vitale, who I have not personally met, but I know of him quite well.
I've met him. We talked with him when we were doing our mission.
That would make sense. You are taking care of yourself, though?
As good as I can with this thing hovering over my head.
Ah, yes, the Wraith. Try not to let it get to you, child, and don't wander off on your own.
I won't. That would be a bad idea right now.
For more than one reason, as I'm sure you're aware. If that is all, good evening, and be safe.
Ashley will just hang up. Oh, shit. She'll exit the closet and go find a booth.
Anything you wish to share with Alvin, or...
When he's not busy, she'll give him all the information that her sire had given her.
Well, I imagine in the time you're conversing with your sire, he has finished up with whatever he was doing downstairs with Jim.
Have I? That conversation only took like a few minutes.
Okay. Are you staying down there talking to him while he's showering?
No.
I just thought you were showing him the shower, giving him some clothes and some soap, and letting him do his business. But I mean, if you want to stay around with him, by all means, man, we can roleplay that.
No, I'm not
You're
paying
muted.
attention to that. But I'm gonna head to, my room and just kind of see if I can fix up the computer a bit to get my net hack going back on. But
Well, you did have a replacement part brought back at some point a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, but a few days ago. So
so I'm gonna fix my stuff.
you're fixing your stuff. Excellent.
Pius went to the Warrens, so maybe we should
I'm going to switch to him, but I was just like, I thought that you would. I didn't think you would be down there fixing stuff, so I thought she'd be sharing that with you instead.
He's
Hey,
explaining all the oohs and ahs about becoming a ghoul while he's showering.
No, Ashley wouldn't go into Alvin's room like that. She's not like the other two. Your room is sacred. Just like for her, her room's sacred. She doesn't like people in there.
Indeed.
Yeah, people just kick Ice's room's door down.
I mean, your sister's just overly affectionate.
Oh, yes. He loves it.
Better than his previous so-called sisters, yes.
Yes.
I mean, better an overly friendly type than a bitch, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that does bring us down into the sewers. Where do your footsteps lead you now that you are back in the... Honestly, it's only been a few weeks, but this is rapidly becoming home for you.
Yes. He's going to wander to Lynette's room. He's gonna have his charm on and all that.
Charmon?
Bangle. I have a bangle.
Oh, right, the bangle, the bracelet, the thing.
Yes.
In that case,
He will knock on her door.
let me find where this is. Hmm. Enter.
Pius would enter in and give her an ear-to-ear smile.
Ah, Pius, you're back.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'm learning something, and I want you to help me get a grip on it.
Of course. I'm always here to help you learn.
So
Hmm.
it has to do with dead man's eyeballs. It'll allow me
Oh, well, there
to.
are 3 or 4 different things I can think of to use with such ingredients.
I would like to use it to see the moments of its ending hours.
Ah, you have been reading your books. Hmm. Or my books, but same,
Yes.
same. What are you having trouble with?
I kind of just want to see how it's done, what it feels like. I'd rather do it somewhere safe, you know. Never do a drug alone, they always say.
Is that how they speak these days?
Yeah, where I'm from.
Ah, I suppose I really can't have any legs to stand on in that instance. This is a far, far cry from, well, when and where I grew up.
You never did tell
Still,
me how old you are.
what year is it?
5.
1995.
Hmm. Well then, in a few short years, I will be approaching my 600th year of unlife.
Oh, wow. And you look lovely still.
Hmm. There was a time, shortly after my changing, where I would have disagreed with you. Hmm. I was
And I,
originally a blonde. You
oh, what
rather
a
liked
found
my
some way to
hair.
make you agree.
Hmm. Perhaps. But such mortal thoughts are long behind me.
Sure.
Hmm. Anyways, unless you wish to inquire more about how the 1300s were like for a peasant girl in France, let us move on to the topic that brought you here.
Sure. So yeah, I would like to give this a go if you would happen to have a victim of yours around.
Well, the power you're acquiring does not need any particular delay. Does not require any particular urgency, so long as the eyes are still mostly intact and haven't decayed too far. So yes,
Yeah, this
quite.
is why I came to you, because I saw you do that weird oil thingy and you kept that body
Hmm.
preserved. Figured you'd have a fresh eyeball.
Honestly, you could have one of the ones belonging to the rotting cadavers outside, but yes, this would probably be easier and more stomachable,
Sure.
and not a meaningful source of sustenance that I will miss either way. Come,
He will follow.
which leads you down through one tunnel to another door, which leads to where her pantry, as it might be called, is. And for the second time tonight, you see the face, a rather familiar face. One whose snap does not haunt your mind because of how it makes you feel guilty, but because it doesn't make you feel guilty.
Oh wow, the bodies are down there.
Yep,
Oh wow,
her
that's cool.
pantry. It's her pantry. Y'all got them for her to eat them eventually. So an eyeball then. Do you have your procedure down pat on this?
I believe so.
All right, then. I'll be here to help you on your way. It is your first time. Now, we are going to go ahead and roll your intelligence plus occult for your necromancy ritual. Normally, this is DC 3 plus level of the ritual, and since it's a first level ritual, this is DC 4. However, because you have Lynette helping you through this, I will allow you to negate any roll of a 1. Just one roll of a 1. If you get a bunch of 1s, it's not going to help you, but it will negate 1 from screwing you over.
Intelligence occult. You said difficulty what? 6?
4.
4. Okay.
Ritual difficulty is always 3 plus the level of the ritual. And this is
Okay.
a level 1 ritual. Why do you have discipline toggled for that?
Oh, oops. My bad. I didn't mean to do that. Boop.
Well, one of those ones is negated, so you will have a 3. Oh, yes, cancels something. 1 success, I guess. So you do manage to trigger it. You just have a basic sense of the subject's death. A sense of falling asleep and a sense of, well, whatever it feels like when your neck is snapped.
Oh, I just
But
pretty much relived the sense of me snapping the neck.
from the guy whose neck is being snapped, yes.
Okay.
So like you feel it as if it was your neck being snapped in a way, just without the pain.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's
With the pain, but with the pain being ignorable. It's kind of weird,
yeah,
Get
yeah.
the
I was gonna
feelings of
say
it,
it's
but it's
weird.
not yours. It's like if you were it's like if pain was something you could watch rather than feel. But you're
Mm,
still feeling it, but it's kind of like it's distant from you, like watching a movie is on like the screen sort of thing. It's not
yeah.
right there in front of you. It's just there.
Like you watch someone's leg break and you're like, oh my God, and you go and grab for your leg.
hmm
Okay, yeah, Pius would just shiver. He'd just be like, oh God, that was weird.
Hmm. I see you chose the method of eating it. Interesting.
Eh, I already drink blood. I mean, I look like this. Might as well.
Hmm. It says more about you than you know. But either way, I approve. Well done.
Why, thank you.
Any other concerns bring you to me tonight? I hear that, well, things have been proceeding apace upstairs.
Yeah, about that. And since I'm here, do you have any insight on the Sabbat coming back to Uprise?
Oh, well, the Sabbat that are invading this city here now? No. Well, there was a time, over 100 years ago, in the city of New York, during their second civil war, that I pretended to be a member of the Sabbat once. Hmm.
Well, we got a whole bunch of them here now, and they're trying to cause some trouble.
Who won that civil war? Any idea?
Well, I would assume it wouldn't be the Sabbat since they're back to attack.
Oh, no, no, no. That you're thinking of the conflict here in Seattle. I mean the conflict between the Sabbat and the Sabbat.
Oh,
It was a Sabbat civil war.
I
They've
do
had
not know
several.
this.
Well, if I had to wager, it'd probably be the more new thinkers, the ones that started employing those dreadful, wasteful mass embraces of theirs. Shovel heads? Yes, shovel heads.
Mm. And these are, you said the new generation of the Sabbat?
The new wave of thinking, though new being comparatively, being relative. New as in it was new in 1872. Now it's presumably standard procedure if that side won.
Interesting. So even amongst themselves, they split in ideas.
They've had 3 periods of infighting, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Still, they're returning. It's no wonder that poor Donovan is so concerned about security. He's had me employ my various little friends and helpers in keeping an eye on all the nearby intersections and possible entrances into the warrens, to better
Is,
be on guard for anyone that might try to invade.
is there any way you could do me like a favor and have a few of those kind of block the door near the Daily Bagel?
Block the door? Wraiths aren't particularly physical for us. You know that, right?
Or at least guard the entrance from the Warrens to the Bagel.
Hmm. What exactly do you want them guarding?
Just in case the Sabbat try and go through the Warrens.
You missed the point, I'm afraid. Wraiths are, at least without assistance from myself or another skilled practitioner, capable of relative limited use in terms of any sort of physical capacity. Some of them
Ah,
do have gifts for that nature and are capable of manipulating or manifesting themselves or their powers, but it's a stretch, really.
all right, I understand.
Hmm.
I
Now,
really wish I could make one of those zombie things that you do, but I know that'll take a long time.
not that much longer, I imagine. Out of character, you could have totally had it by now if you were actually spending your experience.
Dang it!
In any case, do be advised that the walking, shambling corpses do have limitations. After you make them and give them their first orders, those are their only orders. So make sure you word them well.
Good to know.
I need to make new ones every time I change my location. The old ones are still stuck guarding locations I have long since moved on from.
Oh man, that sucks.
Well, it's not too terrible. After all, I don't require fresh corpses for these. I can get any number of them from any graveyard in the city.
Oh, that's pretty much an infinite source.
Well, I try not to take too much at any one point in time. I would be a very poor guest if I brought down more suspicion than necessary.
True. Well, I
Hmm.
appreciate your time. I'm gonna head back and see what the gang's up to.
I'm sorry I was not of more support. Perhaps if you had a less than physical problem, I might have been more useful.
Sure. No,
Hmm.
you helped out quite a bit. If I would have tried this out somewhere else, who knows what would have happened.
Oh, yes, that too.
I will take my leave, and he bows to her
Hmm.
in a weird,
Yep,
awkward way.
yep. And as you leave, I will stop holding myself back from laughing. Oh, yes, talk about guarding from the Sabbat. Don't mention the fact there's a wraith following around one of your friends.
Oh yeah, Pius, that doesn't cross his mind.
A problem she could probably readily solve. And you're not allowed to double back now because
I
clearly
know, I
Pius
know.
didn't remember it.
Yeah. I won't double back.
Yeah.
The
So
story goes on.
Nope, you need to go back right now. How dare you?
it's not like she has anything less than 5 ways on how to deal with an unwanted wraith.
David, you go back there right this moment.
You know, if I just stabbed myself in the heart and had enough water to fall into, I can walk into the Shadowlands and bitch slap this wraith.
I mean, if you really want to go into the Shadowlands, she can make that happen for you.
True.
She has like 3 ways of getting there, 2 of which she can use on you.
It's just so epic to plunge a dagger into your chest and fall into water.
Alright, I was forgetting rituals. There's probably another 1 or 2 in there. Anyway, though, I'm back at the bagel. Alvin, you have finished fixing your computer. It works now. You have been putting this off for nights. How dare you?
Not that I've been putting it off for nights. We've been busy.
You've been putting it off. You could have absolutely done this easy peasy. It's clearly all your fault.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, it's not like my character is not built for computers.
Fortunately, I'm not going to make you roll on that. It's just like power supply. Put this power supply where the old power supply was. Ooh, other part. Put it where that other part was.
I mean, I have 2 points in technology with a specialty in computers, and I have 2 points in computers.
Okay, now we're rolling. Ah,
It's all right, big guy. Let's see what you got.
dexterity or intelligence plus technology. Your specialty applies, so add a modifier of +1. Difficulty 6.
It's all Pius's fault anyway. So, you said add a bonus of 1, modifier 1.
Yep, you have a specialty for computers, and this is computers. And either dexterity or intelligence, your choice, plus technology.
What the fuck? That 1 every time. This system hates me.
Sadly, you do not, in fact, make the progress I had just said you made. You don't mess anything up. It's more the fact that the little pieces that don't actually contribute to anything, but were broken in the way that Pius joint things out, are first had to be, like, I guess, sort of set up and then organized so you know what was missing from where.
Nah, he broke
Which
all
means,
the pins, and now it's just a massive mess, and now it's like, now I gotta sit here and spend an extra day just putting the pins back together.
yep, pretty much. Your old feelings and some, perhaps a touch of fury, almost, but your calm heart, but your naturally calm demeanor manages to suppress it for the most part. Doesn't keep you from perhaps daydreaming of what you might do to Pius if you weren't so calm.
Never gonna be able to get back to my gaming. You're a terrible bastard.
Terrible, terrible bastard.
Almost had the highest level of joust.
Yeah, I was playing NetHack, and you just ruined the campaign.
Ah,
The shower is probably, or bath. I mean, he's probably taking both a shower and a bath. Let's be honest. He's probably showered. He's probably bathing. He's probably run out of hot water and now just using regular room temperature water. But that's still so much better than what he's had access to. So he's probably still scrubbing. Also, it's probably allowing him time to sort his thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice stuff in there too. It's not just like run of the mill, somebody went and bought Pantene.
yeah, this is Alvin's house. Bagel.
Might as well splurge a little bit on the stuff that is actually supposed to work.
Yeah, pretty much. Meanwhile, Ashley is still upstairs. Which of you decides to leave first to try and get to the other?
Wait, between who?
Ashley and Alvin.
Okay,
One of
yeah.
them's going to give first.
Alvin's busy until his like ward, pops out. And it's not like he's hiding where he's at. Like if Ashley needs to come see him, like
Yeah, she's
Same.
just the one to even knock. So
the same for Lucy, same for Kyle. Like if anyone
Indeed.
needs them, they know where they.
in that case, about another half hour later, we're approaching 1 a.m. when Jim will eventually, after about 45, 50 minutes of bathing and scrubbing, step out into the rest of your room.
It's shower room, and then it's the couch room and the whole 9 yards.
Mhm.
Inside the bathroom, there was probably a trimmer set and a few other bits and bobs to
Yep.
clean
Of
up all he wants.
course. Of course, now his emotional state has probably somewhat resumed its more natural inclinations. So there's definitely a hesitancy in his stepping out that wasn't there when he stepped in. Hey, Mr. Big Mad Monster, right? Where do we go from here?
You can call me Alvin, for starters.
Alvin. Right. You mind if I sit down?
Please.
Okay.
You hungry?
I mean, yeah, I could go for some food. What you got?
I run a bakery upstairs, but we also, deal in occasional breakfast sandwiches, things of that like. So you can get coffee, you can get tea, you can get, anything you'd find at a basic cafe.
You want me to help myself and come back, or?
I can get somebody to bring something down.
Oh, all right then. I guess this is where you explain the rules, and I try and keep a calm head about things.
To a certain degree,
Just please tell me one way or another. Have I like damned my soul or something like that?
Honestly, no. At least, not in the way that I think I am.
No, fair enough. I guess you seem honest enough, though. You'll forgive me if that's like feels weird and how well I think I can trust you.
I'm gonna put it to you this way, Jim. You probably lucked out as best as you could in the circumstances you found yourself in. Anyone else would have absolutely made sure you died on that spot.
Well, thanks for that. I mean, really, I kind of get the sense that's true. Yeah.
This little path you've been offered is an alternative to that. I don't necessarily like the way that things turn out when it comes to mortals finding out about our circumstances, but this is kind of the only back alley way that I can move around society.
Right.
So, what's for the food? We'll get something brought down. We'll have a conversation.
Okay. Well, I'm not going anywhere. I
Mm.
mean, if things are starting to look up for me finally, even if it's kind of twisted, I'd like to stay around.
He'll pull out his phone and go, and, give Kyle a message. Just bring something filling, but basic down. Nothing too crazy to make Kyle work super hard, but at the same point, something that's quick and easy. Well,
You
Kyle's
get you get an affirmative in that response, but by the time food is brought down, the footsteps are lighter than you're expecting, and it is in fact Lucy with a tray of stuff that's meeting you at your door.
hey kiddo.
Hey, I just figured I'd help out, bring down this stuff. Hungry
Sure,
homeless guy. No offense, whatever your name is.
actually, you might be able to help me out a little bit here. Mind taking a
Yeah,
seat?
sure. She says after she sets down the tray on something. There's a there's a full-on coffee pot right there, and a couple of cups, a couple of mugs ready to be filled. The usual array of you know things you would add into coffee, as well
Hmm.
as a variety spread of bagels and a few other little baked things. Bagels might be your focus, but I doubt it's the only baked product you have.
Correct. Yeah, again, basic stuff that you'd find at a cafe.
Probably a bagel breakfast sandwich in there somewhere.
Hmm.
The moment Jim thinks he has permission to grab stuff, he is woofing stuff down.
Oh no, absolutely. Give them a little bit of a moment to, catch a breath and, get something to eat.
Probably after he finishes the first of whatever he's grabbed, his pace of eating will slow now that it's no longer in the ravenous, hungry, must-eat phase.
Hmm.
So, can I do for you?
Well, Lucy, you're actually fairly decent example of the circumstances that Jim now finds himself in. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a rundown of kind of what he's taken a step into. Jim, as you've probably noticed, you're now kind of connected to a world of monsters that no one should really know about.
Out of character, most of the movie references I want to make haven't been released yet, so I can't make them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of figured. Is she one of y'all, or?
No, actually, she is one of you. Lucy here happens to be a ward, or as, others in our circles would call a ghoul,
Lucy will give a
within
little wave.
within vampiric society.
Wait, vam vampire? Oh, I thought y'all were like demons or something.
No, you might get that impression from some of the more monstrous abilities of certain blood. See, what you're into here is a political network of variant factions, clans, and separate sects of how people perceive undeath.
Hmm. Right. I guess. Different political bullshit factions. Yeah, makes sense.
What you
Uh,
experienced last night was a particularly nasty faction known as the Sabbat making their first forays back into Seattle. These Sabbat members are, let's just say, individuals who truly embody the essence of being a monster. Mortals are nothing but pawns, but cattle, but tools for slaughter in their eyes.
okay, so the monsters. I guess I'm picking up what you're putting down so far. Where does that leave you?
I am part of what is regarded as the Camarilla, the old age vampires, the people who are a little more interested in keeping a delicate balance between the ecosystem of the day and the ecosystem of the night. We have retainers, or people that we rely on in ghouls, to help manage things during the day, and we're more than willing to be a bit less monstrous in those rites. Vampires can't exist if humans know that we exist. At least not in the way that will be productive for both of us. Think of it in the way of making humans an endangered species doesn't do us any good.
Right, I can follow that. Am I one of these ghouls now? I don't feel particularly monstrous.
It'll take a few more nights before that's fully the case, but to become a ghoul means that you and I will be bound to each other.
Hmm.
But it also means that you will be under a certain amount of protections that might otherwise be ill afforded to other mortals roaming the streets.
Hmm. It generally means looking after their stuff during the day and not getting insta killed by many other vampire that decides that you know too much because you're spoken for.
It also
Or
means that you can continue on daily life decently well. You're not turned like I am, so you're not relegated to only being active during the night. And as you had asked before, I don't believe your soul is genuinely damned, you might find that eventually you'll feel a little stronger. Maybe you'll be a little more vivacious. Maybe you'll even live a little bit longer than the normal limitations of human life. But that is also dependent on how often we maintain that bond.
Well, the way I hear it is some ghouls live for, well, I think I remember M and B talking to me about meeting a ghoul once that'd been around for 300 years. Supposedly, though, that if you ever stop taking the blood, or if the guy supplying blood for you ever drops over, your age starts catching up to you quickly. Supposedly, the really old ones will age to dust in an instant or something like that, but you have to be absurdly old for that to happen.
So you can think of it a lot like a contract that you have a ownership over and a choice of when you want to pick that time of expiration.
Right. Well, the way I see it, if I mean part of this means me getting uh stay clean and not go hungry, and not become a monster of some variety. This seems like a pretty solid win for me, all things considered.
It's kind of what I was hoping you'd see it as.
So, what kind of work am I going to be doing for you? Little Missy here gives me the idea that I'm going to be having some sort of job.
Well, I run a bakery, and soon, hopefully, a internet cafe to go along with it. For now, I'm
What's
sure
the
that...
internet?
Ah, well, 1 second.
I mean, this guy's legitimately been on the street for like a couple of decades, so yeah.
He's just happy as shit right now.
The internet only really became a thing in the last couple of years. It makes sense that he wouldn't know what that is. Hmm. Stephaphone, huh? Oh, Steph phone, probably being called by
Right,
Steph.
yeah.
For a moment, I thought they'd made a new device called a Stephaphone. I wonder if it was like one of those like brass fish you'd hang up on the wall to sing and dance. Maybe this was just like unleashing crazy Steph nonsense, that motion detection or something. Hmm. Well, while we're waiting on him, how's your leg doing there, David?
Doing okay. I'm got a cushion underneath it.
Well, thank you for toughing it out for me.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be putting a warm blanket on it when I go upstairs later. I think it's my sciatic nerve or where my leg goes into my hip, like your leg and hip meet.
Hmm.
Yeah, I either that or I could have fractured something there without realizing that I did. I'm pretty rough on myself. I do a lot of dumb shit. I jump off things. I do dumb stuff.
Makes sense.
Like on lunch for work, I'll just go in the woods and I'll run on trees and jump and climb shit, and then I'll fall and I'll get hurt.
You sure you didn't break something?
I don't know. I'll be
That's
going
generally
to
why you go. That's generally why you go to the doctor to ask them that, so you make sure you didn't break nothing.
yes, I'll be going to the doctors. I'm just to the point where I can't be stubborn anymore.
I hope that means Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll be calling the doctors here Monday. And then my door attacked me in my house, and I have a huge bruise on my hip now.
It's more like just underneath your rib.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Steph
Oh, you're
called
fine.
and was in the midst of something going on, I guess. I'm not too sure.
Some sort of auction. She texted me.
Yeah, yeah. Rings and things like that.
Yep. She's like, I saw an amethyst ring and I want to buy it. And I'm like, you mean you don't have to?
Yeah.
She's like, if I get the money, I'm doing it. And I'm like, oh God.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the money, you're doing what?
She's gonna try and buy a amethyst ring at an auction at the convention she's at.
What kind of convention?
The work one. I don't know what kind.
It's a chiropractic
Oh, we're
convention.
talking about Steph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steph's a chiropractor.
No, she isn't. She's a massage therapist, but the place that she works at is like general like massage therapy and chiropractic care, and her boss is the chiropractor.
Yep.
Yeah. Any hoozles.
Any hoozles? I believe we left off still with you, talking to Jim and Lucy.
About the internet.
Yes.
Yes, about the internet. He's like, what's the internet? Because reasons.
So let's put it this way. Internet is a lot like if we're able to transmit ideas and information instead of on walkie-talkies and phones to a monitor device where we can see it almost like a TV, but with more interactivity.
If you want, I can show you later on my laptop, which, by the way, is a computer that you can put on your lap instead of on a desk, I guess. Much more portable. Not as much computing power, though. Right. That'd be good. You know, you're really kind of nice considering me being well, very recently a hobo. Most girls your age tend to get freaked out just by me being near them. You see a lot of things on this side of things, or life, rather. Don't worry about it. Just take the best of the opportunity you've got.
That said, assistance around the cafe, can be figured out with Kyle. He runs the establishment during the day, and I'm sure that there will be some place where you could possibly fit in.
Right, well, I mean, any way for me to earn my keep, I will gladly take, sir.
Alvin nods. For now, I just didn't see the,
And a loud slam reverberates through the bagel as Pius enters from the sewers.
You know that's normally locked, right?
Oh,
Just
is
a
it locked?
slam.
That's the slam, is that it's locked because he doesn't want Pius
Oh, he
putting him.
slams into it. He slams into it. And it doesn't open, but it's slammed because he thuds into it, expecting it to open.
Yeah,
Right.
Pius usually shoulders the door open every time, and this time he just slammed.
Yep, it's because he keeps making marks that Joshua keeps coming down to have to fix and being pissed off.
Yep.
This is a war between Joshua and Pius
Yep.
right now.
Yep. And yeah, Jim, who just goes from being peaceful to startling upright, kind of looking around the direction that happens. His
Alvin
sense
will
of calm having pretty much been blown past by that loud noise. What? I mean, what was that?
give it a second. I think I know who that is, and Alvin will kind of head over to the door to unlock it and reopen it. Pius.
Oh, what's up? That really hurt.
Yeah, it should have. So what did we learn?
Well, I have to remember the door's locked.
Yeah, we don't slam the door.
Uh-huh. He just
Joshua's
clenches
going to
his
become
fist.
livid.
Yeah, well, Joshua needs to stop.
He maintains this building for us. The least you could do is show a little respect to it.
Fine.
I'm gonna close this
Um,
door and you can obfuscate and
hey there, Mr. Monster. He's not gonna kill me, is he?
Oh
this
no,
one?
no, no.
No. Think of him like a really ugly pit bull. He's the sweetest one here.
Right. I don't have a lot of good experiences with pit bulls.
Well, if you treat him like good, welcomed family, you'll find that they're actually very sweet inside.
This is true.
Ashley probably heard the slam from upstairs.
She did.
And Ashley comes down the stairs. And then it was Pius, Ashley, Alvin, Lucy,
Mhm.
and Jim all standing in like the center of the downstairs.
Yep.
What's up?
What'd you do?
I hurt my shoulder.
Stupid. Don't do that.
That's what Pius does. He just laughs.
If you want, I'll give you a secret Noxie. We can have the door open when want to, come back in instead of making a public destruction of home and domain.
You know, Alvin, that would be awesome. It's 1995. We could probably, put this thing that we made called the doorbell on, on the door.
We could, but sometimes I doubt you'd use it, and you'd still opt to just smash the door.
This is true, but now you'd have an excuse to yell at me even more.
I could see about getting a doorbell installed, sure, but it's gonna look a little suspicious.
Jim, meanwhile, is nervously eating his third bagel sandwich.
Ooh, a bell. I can ding-a-ling a bell.
Or you could just send me a text, hey, unlock the door.
That's true. Yeah, text it is.
All right, then. Alvin will pat him on the shoulder and head back to take a seat. By the way, you two, I've scheduled a meeting with Father Batale. Now we can discuss some of these unique abilities of our enemies in the coming nights.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's actually pretty convenient because that's what my sire said to do.
Yeah.
I reached out for some information.
That's good. Too bad we can't get rid of the Spectre.
I wish.
Alvin will just kind of generally flip it off in the direction that it may or may not be because he has no sight on it.
Man, see, that wouldn't. Oh, nope, I can't. See, that would have been the perfect time. Like, oh, I just remembered. Lynette, I love what Andrew said. I can't.
Nope.
Oh no, you could do it now, but the problem is that she's probably busy now, and like
Yep.
you've already forgotten.
Yeah.
The fact that the wraith is now brought up again is yes, you can now remember, but it's getting later in the evening now. It's absolutely closer to like 1:30 and so on, and you really got to schedule this in advance. She's probably already busy talking to Donovan about something.
This is something that he should just write on like his arm so he can see it later and like, oh yeah.
I mean, just jot down in his journal like, hey, I really need to talk to Lynette about this wraith problem we got.
Oh, good
She's
idea.
pro-
Journal.
Pin a note to his shirt, send him home.
Writing my journal now.
But Ashley will share the information she got.
I'll have to listen back to the recording for it because it was a lot.
It was a lot. I was trying to like make note, and I'm like, this is a lot. I'm not keeping up.
No, sorry.
It was okay. I can't type as fast as I can talk or anyone can talk. I'm pretty slow.
Mm. what are the plans of the coterie for what's left of the evening? You've probably got about 3 or 4 good hours before you have to immediately be concerned with taking shelter from the daylight.
Hmm.
Or will this be a return of coterie movie night, round 2?
Well,
Sounds like it would be a boys' night because Ashley would have to find a safe way home.
I wish we could
Technically,
do something to scout the spot.
I mean, if Jim seems comfortable enough to hang out with Lucy and Kyle, then, kind of get his bearings a little bit. We could go to Elysium and, then, Alvin could drop Ashley off at home before daytime hits, but that's up to you guys.
There, journal updated. I need to remember to knock on the door before I shoulder it. Alvin said so.
I mean, in terms of Ashley getting home, that's usually just has to call the Chantry and they send someone over.
Right, but Alvin could still drop her off as well, just to, save time for people.
Well, in that case, unless there's a dissenting voice to the Elysium. I'm not hearing any dissenting voices.
Wait, what are we doing?
I'm okay
I'm
with
sorry.
going to Elysium. Sorry, I was texting Steph back.
How dare you? Jeez, money for stuff. This is ridiculous.
I'm down for going to the Elysium.
Sweet, that means we get to hear that one song playing again. Yay! No, not that song.
No, this one.
Yeah, this is Elysium, not like a frickin' biker bar. Sheesh.
Biker Bar was awesome.
We spent like parts of 3 separate sessions there, so I'm kind of glad we're not going back there immediately.
Well, this is a good song.
So I guess who's at Elysium tonight?
A number of people. I need to come up with some sort of program that can randomly roll this shit.
It's almost like you need to make a rollable table.
Yeah, I have no idea how to do that though.
It's actually a lot simpler than it sounds.
Well, obviously you had one for Roll20 Pirates, so it has to be doable.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
First, you download Factory, and then you sound display.
No, I was just talking about on even Roll20. Like, luckily it's because you're not putting in like a bunch of other extra information. You're just picking names. All you'd have to do is just make a rollable table, name it, whether it's like by clan or by importance, and then just toss in all the different NPC names.
Well, in that case, if you could hit me up with directions on how to do that during the week, I will absolutely do that. I have no idea what a rollable table is. I mean, like where I go to find that or anything. But I would love to go ahead and have that set up. That'd be great for randomly generating what vampires are at a location.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, though, let's see here. Night at Elysium, there is, well, obviously the keeper is in residence. Oop. Oop.
Whoop, I missed that last one.
Oh, well, let me. Oop. There you go again.
Wasn't she singing last time?
Yep,
Yep.
she's always singing.
She's almost always singing. Sometimes she has guests. But she's very jealous of the stage. She hogs the stage. It's her thing.
Yeah. The voice fits the picture. Ooh, Frederick. And Zoe, what's up, Zoe?
Mm-hmm.
Nathan, when have we seen Nathan? Oh, Ugo.
Hmm.
Oh wow, have we met her?
These were all a lot of people that were at the meeting at the Prince's.
Yep.
I
I'm just
remember
going through and
both
picking
of
a few of
these.
them at random.
I remember him too.
How is he? Oh wait, no. Luke Harper's dead. No, he's not. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's not dead. It's Luke Harper.
Yep.
His sire is
Yep.
dead. Its wife, who has taken over his management. The wife does not appear to be here, at least not visible at the moment. Hmm. Oop.
A bruja. She looks like that one girl from The Craft.
She looks like a My Chemical Romance stan.
Yeah.
So those are the people you are immediately able to see currently. Not as crowded as it might normally be at night, but you imagine that with everything going on, there's a lot of, especially the older ones, are probably all busy doing or plotting or preparing for something.
I'm actually surprised that there aren't more people here considering the current circumstances. You'd think that Elysium would be one of the safe houses in order to actually hang out at.
Oh, indubitably. But considering things were only announced last night, many of them are immediately preparing for their own defense and will probably be convening here tomorrow night or the night after in force.
No, I hear you.
There's going to be a fight?
Oh, no. By convening in force, I mean there'll be a lot more here probably tomorrow evening.
Oh, okay.
There's a reason that most of those here are neonates and fledglings. The older ones are the ones more ornery about preparing for their own security.
Alright, A2, how would you like to tackle this? You want to just start walking around and chatting with people, see how they're faring with the recent news, see if they've seen anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk over to Ugo and say what's up to him. See if he can tell me anything.
Alright. Ashley?
Pious! How are you this evening?
What's up, man?
Nothing too particular. Yourself?
Eh,
Doing well? You're not really in the Warrens that often lately.
Yeah, I've been out with my group doing, new shit. But this Sabat thing, man, like, surprised to see you out here in a club. Like, aren't you worried about the attacks going on?
Oh, worried, yes, but I had a message to deliver in person.
Oh wow, to who?
I'll be returning to the Warrens soon enough. I prefer it down there, especially in times like these.
Who was the message for?
He'll cock his head to one side and give you a grin. You know I can't tell you that.
Yeah, you're right.
Nice try, though.
But what? So what can you tell me of things that you know? I guess I'm new
Lot-
to all this.
Yeah, fair enough. Lots of people panicking. The older ones, the Ancilla, and anything that could be potentially even slightly called an elder is typically either fortifying themselves, their possessions, their various attached abilities, or out actively hunting for signs of where our erstwhile enemies have hoarded themselves up at.
Why are they so scared? Like, can't they just defeat the Sabat and be done with this?
Do you remember how many of our kind were gathered last night?
Oh yeah.
The city used to be that, plus a good bit more, and after all was said and done, less than half of what you saw last night were what was left. That's why there's so much new blood running around.
Oh.
And saw the need to refresh their numbers. That's why most of you got the approval to be embraced.
And the Sabat replenished that much faster then.
Well, they don't exactly have our standards. Well, some of them do. I think the upper and ups, typically the Tizmishi and La Sombra, are a bit more picky about their child air. But otherwise, it's just throw some blood and a bunch of corpses buried under the ground and see which ones survive to crawl their way out. Smacked
Oh,
over the head
wow.
with a shovel sort of thing. Shovel heads. And then if they manage to last long enough past the first couple nights, then they get a chance to be actual Sabat, actual vampires. If they don't, well, they were cannon fodder and they did their purpose.
And very cutthroat.
Well, they're monsters. What can we say? They don't pretend to be anything else.
I mean, we're pretty much safe, right? We can just go into the Warrens and hide.
For now. We wouldn't be the first to have our warrens rooted out from under us, though. I hear horror stories about what happened in Boston a few decades back. Fleshly abominations of some kind just flooded through the place.
Oh, wow.
Tizmishi fleshcraft, most likely, but their old war beasts that apparently used to be quite their thing don't get used nearly as much anymore. Attract too much attention, take too long to build up, or something. I'm not exactly an expert. Just horror stories. I hear a lot. See a lot. Know a lot.
So you got some pretty good talents in espionage.
And no more than we all do.
Okay. You know anything about specters? Or wraiths?
Well, I think we both know that the one that knows more about that would be back home.
Okay.
And he gives you a look. You know better than to continue that line of conversation.
I like how this session's just turned into everyone just poking Pius about like the thing he should know.
I wish there was something we could do to gather more information about the spot. Do you know anyone that would have more information and willing to share?
Willing to share about their current activities? If anyone knows anything, they've already been talking to the prince. No one wants to hold out on this sort of thing, but I mean, again, they only announced themselves a couple of nights ago. We'll probably be hearing from them very soon. And by hearing from them, I mean there's probably going to be some fires set. There's probably going to be someone's establishment getting kicked down. They're going to be raiding somewhere. They're not going to be quiet for too long. Haven't you been keeping track of the news? Portals disappearing en masse? Only two reasons they need that, either for blood or for recruits.
Lately, I've just been in the Warrens and surrounded by bread. I haven't really seen too much news.
Odd, considering how often you're gone from the Warrens, but whatever. I won't poke at you. Not like you're poking at me, anyway.
Pius would then just like a wide-eyed stand up and just slowly walk away.
His eyes will follow you the whole way away before he eventually downs what's left of his glass and makes to leave via the sewer exit.
Pius makes his way to Alvin.
While
No
Pius
information.
was talking to Ugo, what was Alvin and Ashley up to?
Pick your poison.
I guess she'll go and greet Richard.
Richard. Ah. Hey there, sweet cheeks. How's it going?
It's about going as good as it can with everything that's going on. See, you're out of the
Suppose so.
chantry.
Yeah, making some acquisitions.
Hmm.
Our quartermaster wanted to be stocked up on a few extra special things, and I'm always the people person.
Probably for the best.
Even the book club needs someone that's not a book club member, I guess, or well, not a bookworm rather.
We need a knight, sounds like.
Yeah, we used to have quite a lot of those back in the day. If you read the history books, kept us alive back in the old days. Nowadays, there's few like me, few that aren't all about the well, witchcraft and wizardry.
Sounds like that's a tradition we should bring back.
Never left, but it's never been popular. No. Still, I would be lying if I said I wasn't excited. Dangerous times, dangerous stuff, but I get to prove my worth again, and people looking at me a bit more seriously, including the regent.
Yeah, happy for you. That'll be very interesting.
Well, thank you. What brings you here tonight? I would have thought that your sire would be incredibly protective of you, considering how often he goes on about you.
Oh, he's quite concerned, but he's trusting that my coterie will keep me safe. But I'm out here with them. Actually, we're trying to track down some information.
The same usual Sabbat stuff, or something more direct and poignant?
Kind of for the Sabbat, more specifically the Sombra, but all around both.
Why the keepers specifically?
We had some investigating we were doing. We were trying to find a girl that went missing that's friends of Alvin's. Friend of a friend of Alvin's. She ended
Now,
up
when you say
going...
friend of a friend, one of the missing persons?
Yes. She is related to one of his employees, and she went missing from nearby the club, or at the club Blue.
Oddly bleeding heart of him to do that. Still, to each their own. Honestly, though, if she is among those taken by the Sabbat, she's either dead now, being held captive with her eyes gouged out for, regular blood use, or, well, one of their recruits. Not much room for the in-between.
Sounds unfortunate.
You sure you're alright being out here by yourself?
Probably not. And she'll just kind of like stare up. Got a keeper on me. Or watcher. He's more of a watcher. He hasn't kept me yet.
A watcher.
He's a pervert.
Pervert. And he'll be looking over your shoulder, looking to see if there's anyone that's just staring at you.
I've been sent a gift of a wraith, so...
Wraith? Why the fuck did anyone put a wraith on you?
Long story. That would be a question for my sire.
Dr. Thorne knows necromancy?
No, he didn't send it. Someone else sent it that's not a fan of him or I, apparently.
Well, you could always head to the Chantry. I'm pretty sure that's warded against wraiths as well as anything else.
I'll be heading there shortly, but I wanted to stick around and do what I could for help.
Fair enough. Don't let me poke at you. He will pat your cheek a couple of times.
She'll just laugh. I appreciate it.
Anything else I can get for you?
No, just wanted to check in. At least somebody knew I was here. and alive still, just in case.
Right. Well, take care of yourself.
You too. And she'll head back to Alvin and Pius.
All right. What was Alvin up to?
I was debating on who to approach first. We hadn't seen those people since. I'm gonna poke at Ezreal.
Ezreal. Yes. You'll find him at one of the tables nearer to the stage, clearly trying to use the lovely singing to put his mind off of more concerning matters.
Yo.
Hey, you're Alvin, right?
Yep.
Wait, did you want me to call you Mr. Valdric? I can do that. I mean, that's
Nah,
fine.
no. That one's fun. Yeah, pats him on the shoulder. How you doing, Ezreal? How's Waif doing?
All right, busy tonight. Told me to either stay here or stay back at the Haven. Said it's dangerous.
Just not wrong. You here with someone else?
Not really. I mean, I figure since given her, she'll probably drop back by a couple hours before sunup and make sure I get home. I mean, she'd probably be upset if I was wandering around by myself. She's really looking out for me, you know?
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I was just making sure that you had someone that was keeping an eye on you.
Yeah. What can I do for you? She's always talking about you.
That's kind of her. No, I was just kind of seeing how you were doing and how your clan was handling everything, all things considered. Seems like everyone's kind of got their own response measures to the news.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I mean, pretty sure, Jacob, Mr. Farwell, is busy getting things done, but I mean, I think he was also at a meeting tonight, like one of the Primogen Council stuff. I mean, some sort of war meeting, that kind of thing. At least I guess that's what it is.
No.
They had like a number of people come, apparently. According to Wave, they were calling in anyone that wanted to be a big shot, I guess.
See.
So anyone that I guess has like any notable domain or knowledge, I don't know.
I suppose that would make sense to why any of us rookies never really heard anything in that regard.
There's not really much for us to hear if they haven't finished assembling their own information yet, or know-how, or something.
That's fair.
I think he requested Waif to come in too, but Waif ignored that and headed off on her own, probably doing her own investigation.
Well, then let's just hope that the stories about her are true and she can handle her own.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Waif scared of anything.
Nor have I.
Supposedly, she's the oldest one here in the city, but I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
You all right? I mean, well, we don't exactly know each other, but you seem, I guess, okay, maybe it's just me being nervous and throwing that off on you. It's going to be all right. I'm sure everything's going to be fine.
Oh, no, I'm perfectly fine. More so just saw who was around Elysium. My friends decided to go talk to a couple of their clan mates, and, well, there aren't really any ventures around, so I figured I'd chat with a few people who I have at least some tangential acquaintance with.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that makes sense. Normally there'd be more people here, but, all the big shots are off busy with one meeting or another, or, hiring more security ghouls, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, just making the rounds, seeing who's about, seeing what people are taking of yesterday's information. Following a couple leads myself, so.
mean, even the Anarchs seem pretty busy lately. But
Yeah.
they don't like the religious nut jobs any more than we do.
Well, it's bad for business, bad for their own freedoms, you know. You got people running around just hacking and slashing, burning places down. You never know. That could have been your favorite food shop.
Hmm.
That said, you noticed anything weird in the last day or so?
Just tonight? I mean, a lot more stuff going on here. People talking with people, passing things on to each other, that sort of thing. I imagine they're trading favors and information amongst themselves. That's usually how it goes, I think. I don't know, I've
Yeah.
only been at this a couple of years.
No, that's fair. Not too much more than I, so. What do you
Technically,
think
you've
about
been
the
around
whole...
for a few years longer than him.
What do you think of the whole gig as it stands?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, they just pick people off the streets or, you know, target particular individuals and then drag them into their little secret club, you know?
Yeah, supposedly most of them put in a good deal of thought about it. My own sire, apparently, I mean, he's gone now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but you've still got your sire. I mean, he's treating you all right, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, can't say I should complain. Alvin will kind of give him a pat on the back and note that this is probably not the temperament he's, you know, trying to have this conversation with.
Yeah,
Ah,
Ezreal
man.
doesn't really know what to talk to you about.
This guy liked his sire. Oh man, no, okay, I'm gonna have to. All right. Well, you enjoy the performance. You know, she's radiant as ever. You know, see you around. You know, maybe sometime else.
And familiar yet unfamiliar voice will kind of breeze its way through your ears. You yourself. It's the voice of the singer. So how she managed that while also singing is odd.
Vampire magics.
Demon!
Let's just say that a lot of bloodlines have really odd gifts, and Daughters of Cacophony are among them.
Mm-hmm. Alvin will, you know, send a passing wink back up to the keeper and see about making his way back to his companions.
Honestly, the most telling that something is off about Elysium tonight is that the Harpy isn't here.
Well, I mean, if news is happening, the Harpy's of course going to be where the news is happening.
Exactly. In any case, the three of you finish your conversations and convene around, let's say, one of the billiard stables.
Anything interesting on your ends?
No, not really.
No.
Seems anybody who is, you know, somebody is off handling things. Even Waif, who's normally very non-committal to work, is out and about doing something.
Yeah.
Doesn't really lend to helping any of the uninitiated figure out what the hell's going on, but I suppose we'll probably find out something soon.
So now it's just the waiting game.
Kinda sounds like it, but I don't know that we necessarily have much time to wait.
True.
Doesn't sound like we do.
Probably we could figure out where the Sabbat would end up taking their recruits, all things said. It's not that, you know, there's a few warehouses amongst the outskirts of the city, you know. Places where one could hide, but... I wish I had a map that, like, just showed everyone's domain so we could just process of elimination from there.
That'd
Yeah.
just make life too easy.
That'd be, yeah. Yes, it would.
I mean, I don't have domains mapped out, but there's the city map.
No, I hear you, but it's that mentality of Alvin believes that the vampires don't talk enough to know like who has domain where, so you know not to A, feed on people there, or B, like, all right, these are clearly watched spaces.
Hmm. Well, perhaps something like that will arise in the nearby future, i.e., when I get around to it. But for right now, you just have the missing people and where they've gone missing from.
Hmm.
Ooh,
Which
we need to go to the morgue where there's the missing bodies. I have a trick.
missing bodies? What missing
I
bodies?
mean, the not missing bodies. They don't have bodies. Never mind. They haven't been found. They're missing.
You kind of need a body to do your thing.
Yeah, my brain had to reset.
Hmm. Hmm.
Never mind.
But most of the things that have gone missing have been kind of in the let's see, just let's see, here-ish and here-ish. That's the probably where the lion's share of the missing people stuff has gone down at.
Hmm.
There have been missing people outside of that area, but a lot of stuff down near the seaside and a lot of stuff down in the poorer areas around Belltown and Georgetown. Georgetown, as you should recall, is largely an anarch area, but
Hmm.
the middle ground is not.
Ooh, we're gonna go somewhere. Or we're gonna wait.
All things considered, I'm actually a little surprised that the keeper didn't go to the meeting.
Oh.
Perhaps she has an agreement with the Harpy, where the Harpy is going, who is normally here at Elysium, listening to everything, is the one conveying information back and forth.
That's fair.
Someone needs to keep Elysium open. A sense of stability, a sense of things continuing. But the night is growing onwards.
Hmm. Not too sure we're gonna find too much more than the elders are gonna find tonight, all things considered.
Hmm.
Especially not with the dwindling hours that we have. There's not enough individuals here at Elysium to necessarily drop too much more. Unless we
Not
want to split
particularly.
up and ask our remaining compatriots here.
Sorry, my dog was having a nightmare. I had to wake her
Yeah,
up.
most of those here are either fledglings or young neonates. Not a lot of the older folks here.
Jeez.
It's almost like some of the sires dropped their child here off here for safe staying together while they went off to do something.
Yeah.
Babysitter.
All right, kids, have fun.
It's a little sad, to be honest.
We just have to sit and wait and twiddle our thumbs.
Like, Alvin's noted that a little bit, and it's like, man, that's gotta be embarrassing. Why the hell are you not with your coteries?
Maybe they just don't like each other.
Maybe.
Or maybe some of them have split off from the coterie to come to Elysium as their coteries as representative at the Elysium to try and find things out from the other coteries.
Yeah.
Probably an even mix of that and the babysitting option, honestly.
I think the keeper hit on me, by the way.
Did you
Nice.
hit on her back?
No, well, not really. I just said that, she was radiant as ever, and then I got a little telepathic,
Not telepathic. It was an actual audible sound, but kind of breezed in one ear and out the other.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll
Like some,
explain. Yeah.
like somehow she was able to whisper in your ear despite being up on stage.
Yeah, it was like a whispering wind spell from
Mhm.
Dungeons and Dragons.
It also didn't interrupt her singing.
She's got some spooky magic.
I think a lot of us have spooky magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, you little wizards, and you know what? I should get you guys some hats and cloaks and robes and shit.
I
Especially
do
that
not.
little bagel
No
girl.
pointy
She's
hats, damn it.
scary.
You're getting a pointy hat.
Pius can have the pointy hat.
Which is odd because, as far as y'all know, he doesn't have any sort of blood sorcery nonsense going on.
No, but
Okay, no, that's
Yeah.
no.
why Alvin looked specifically at Ashley and was like, you're getting a pointy hat.
Okay, but he could have a dunce hat, which is a pointy hat.
No, no, you don't do that to the person who runs around and sneaks and unlocks doors. And he's the
Or
guy for the job.
or we can get him a metal pointy hat so when he runs into the door again, the door won't hurt him.
Then he'll get stuck. I'd rather just get him a football helmet. Actually, he
Yeah,
would
I
have
can
been a
see,
great
I
linebacker.
can see it now. Joshua comes down because something was reported damage, and he finds just the unconscious and day sleep Pius just strapped into a helmet that got cannonballed into the wall.
Pius, he would have actually made for a pretty good linebacker.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I heard high school had pretty good sports.
I'll be right back. I need to dash to the bathroom.
How
I'm
dare
sure
he?
Pius never went to high school.
Yeah, it sounds like it's just going to be dropping Ashley off back at home, and then Pius, you want me to drop you off anywhere, or are you coming back to crash?
I'm gonna go back to Crash.
Alright.
I'm gonna go not be watched for a little while, a couple hours, as I mix my words around.
Hey, at least you're not looking to stare at some missing dead bodies.
Eh.
You all right, Pius? You're really hooked on these dead bodies.
No, no, I'm fine.
His
I was just
Things
gonna raise an
things are
eyebrow.
things are cool on the up and up. Pius just kind of thumbs up. Neat things are happening.
Hmm. This concerning the newspaper from before.
Uh, mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll leave it alone then. Because Alvin had you confirm before that the faces you recognized were like, yeah, you knew about those. No context, just you knew about those. It's like, okay.
Yep. And then Pius didn't realize that he was going to have to relive that snap with the eye. That was messed up.
That's your own fault.
That was some good improv on Andrew's end. I don't know if he had that scene ready.
I'm back.
Hi
Okay.
back.
Hmm. What I miss?
Figuring out whether we're dropping Ashley and Pius off.
And then Alvin prodded Pius a bit more about his doings in the Warren.
Hmm.
Well, no, you brought up, at least you're not watching dead bodies, and Alvin's like, you're really hooked on these bodies.
Yeah.
Someone's coming dangerously close to spilling secrets.
No, I backed off. I was like, does this have to do with the paper? And he's like, yes. And it's like, okay.
Hmm.
Alvin's being nice about it. So we're gonna go drop Ashley off in order to let her have a few hours of not being watched.
Yeah, get rid of my peeper for a little bit.
Indeed.
Hopefully by tomorrow I can see the peeper personally.
So you can't like ditch the ghost. You can't like leave it at the front door and walk out the back door.
No.
Oh,
I have to go in the chantry where they have the wards up to keep him out. And then once I come back out, it just is gonna follow me again.
All right,
oh, so
Ashley.
it'll just know you're out of the chantry.
Probably. I don't know.
Okay.
That'd be a.
All right, Ash. Now you just lead us into the chantry.
Oh yeah, that would go well.
Yes, take us to this chantry.
Take us to your leader.
There's nothing that we need there. We just want to see.
They want into the secret book club. Don't let them.
We just turn on our pre-recorded message voices.
We're just here for the sleepover. We just we, we were invited.
We definitely don't want to look
Sure.
at your cool spells and stuff.
I can't even understand spells.
What are
I mean,
spells?
if you went into into the library, I'm pretty sure like the librarian would smack you guys and tell you to get out.
Oh, I'm sure she would probably straight just murder us.
I don't know. I don't know that one. Maybe.
I mean, it's not completely out of the picture.
Yeah. She does take her job seriously. So maybe.
Next thing you know, this is when we find out that the Tremere have made up anti-vampire guns, and just the librarian pulls out a Glock and just caps both of us instantly.
She's what the anime Gungrave is based on.
Yep.
I think the quartermaster would have that more readily available if that was even a thing.
Perhaps not. But that would probably be for later. So you drop Ashley off.
As soon as she gets
But
in
where-
there, she's gonna text her sire and let her know she has returned to the chantry, just so he knows.
You'll get a reply fairly immediately that he is glad you are safe and sound, and he will be back to the chantry soon enough.
That
He's
Pius and
probably at his clinic, which leaves just Pius and Alvin.
we're gonna road
what
trip.
are y'all getting up to?
We're gonna road trip our way to Allie and see what's going on there.
To an alley. Which alley? Any preferences?
No, to Cali.
Cali.
We're going to California.
Oh, you're going to California. Okay.
That's an
I mean, there's
awfully
not enough
sunny
hours
place.
left for y'all to make it that far. I mean, you'll end up in somewhere Oregon at best before the sun comes up. You might get found out by some lupines. I mean, who knows?
Pius rolls the best Mask of a Thousand Faces for this road trip.
I mean, there's still sunlight, you know.
Ah,
It's okay. We'll just hide under a bridge.
we must go to
Right.
the urban district and steal a very tinted cars.
Oh yeah. No, we're bound to the Daily Bagel. Crash the night away
Huzzah!
there.
The bagel, huzzah! I'm on my to-do list for prep. I need to come up with a list of all the domains, or at least the ones you might know about. Hey, case.
Looks like we're going back and watching Pulp Fiction.
Has that been released yet?
94.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you do have a Blockbuster open next, not too far down, but I mean, it is also late. But, I mean, Alvin's a movie buff. He might already have it in his collection or in his
Probably.
rental list.
Probably.
Since we can't go to Cali, we will live the Cali life vicariously through the movie.
I would definitely send a message to wow, I'm blanking. I should know this off the top of my head, but I'm like just vacant mentally.
Yeah, I'm having a really hard time right now, but I'm doing this.
I'm
Uh,
sorry, is it because of your leg?
Yeah.
Anthony, there we go.
Anthony, your sire's ghoul.
Yeah.
What message are you relaying?
Hey, buddy. Sorry about the last few days. I've just had a lot of things on my mind and taking care of a few things back at my own domain. Speaking of domains, there wouldn't happen to be some sort of, vampire known, or ghoul known map that, details the Camarillas, biggest hotspots, or even the Anarchs, biggest hotspots, so we don't kind of fuck around and find out.
Hmm. You get a response about 15 minutes later. You're almost at the bagel. Um, yeah, I don't know if there's a formal list, but I'll go ahead and talk to the big man about it. See if I can get something put together for you.
Thanks, man. You should come out, hang out for a movie for one of these nights.
Sure, sure. How was Waterworld?
Was half all right.
Hmm.
Very cinematic, very nice to look at. Story kind of left a little wanting.
Yeah, I kind of got that. Still, looked nice though.
Yeah. Fold
And
back to
y'all
the
are
bagel and
prepare to hunker down for the night while watching
mhm.
Pulp Fiction. Eventually dragging your ghoul to be, and Lucy probably all just kind of converging in that one room.
Hey, if they want, they're more than welcome.
And it is, I mean, like, it is an odd thing. You got the new guy who's kind of nervous and sitting on a time bomb. It feels like, at least to him. You got Lucy, who's down for just about anything, and you got Kyle, who probably wants something that can help him relax, and a movie might take his mind off things.
Yeah. I am
Which is
trying to
where
make
we,
sure that Kyle isn't too stacked in terms of like things to do. I want to make sure that like he's got some free time to himself.
yeah, indeed. He seems to be the dragging him. He seems to be the one overworking himself in regards to Halsey there.
Mm,
So, Jim's at the bagel.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Pies would walk up to Jim and be like, "Hey, Tim, you want to watch a movie?"
To Jim,
Greg.
his eyes will go over to Alvin.
Alvin will kind of look over to Pius from like what he was messing with. Pius, use his real name, please.
Jim, would you like to watch a movie?
Sure. Sure. Why not?
Heck yeah. First
Movie
night as
night?
a ghoul. Oh yeah, movie night.
Well, that was Lucy kind of piping up from like wherever she's been secluding herself.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, Pius would turn it over his shoulder and say, "Yeah, movie night."
Hey, big guy, movie night. Come on. Don't got popcorn anywhere in here?
Oh, where'd
Yeah, I've
Olivia put
got
the popcorn?
I've got a stash downstairs for, it's not
Sweet.
part yeah, it's not part of the bagels normal thing, considering I live downstairs.
Yeah, makes sense. That's fine. Movie night. And that is where we will leave it off at, with y'all kind of congregating together in the living room section of the basement.
Just ready for another movie night.
Two vampires, a ghoul to be, and another ghoul that y'all are basically babysitting.
Yeah,
I gotta think about how I'm gonna decorate my domain,
I know, right?
It's not a domain.
Your
my
haven.
my haven.
Yeah, haven is the correct word. Yes,
Yeah,
domain
my
is
haven.
feeding grounds that you own. You don't own feeding grounds.
Oh, change that in my journal. So I wrote domain.
I already did. I did that before the
Oh,
session.
you did. I just noticed that. Nice.
I had to correct you last week. I corrected you before the session started, and now I'm correcting you again. Hmm.
Yay.
Hmm. Alrighty then. Any questions before we move on to things?
Nope.
No, off the
All,
top of my head.
Alrighty. Well, as per usual, 1 XP for just being here at the session. We'll also give Steph her minimum 1 XP. Hmm.
Yay.
Role playing, y'all all get yours. I'm not going to hold it back from you. But what did we learn tonight? Alvin, what did Alvin learn tonight?
Hmm. Alvin's learning a little bit about the Daughters of Cacophony, the Whispering Winds. Like he knows that there's magic out there, but he was not expecting to necessarily be, approached, so to speak, by Thalia. So that's curious to him. He's learned that he's got her attention at least a little bit, so maybe that's something to explore later.
Yeah, that was kind
Hmm.
of cool.
Alrighty, what did Ashley learn tonight?
Hmm. She definitely learned that Pius is hiding something because she wasn't there for the newspaper thing. So this is something that's new for her.
Fair enough. And what did Pius learn tonight? I got a
Uh,
freebie for you if you want it.
I seal the. That's kind of why I went to Lynette. Wanted to kind of seal like a learning curve right away, so I didn't
Yep.
like lose track.
Yep, well, here's the other thing you learned tonight. Write stuff down so you don't forget to talk to the specialist about your special problems.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Right,
but
that's...
he learned that this new gift that he's gonna have comes with not only being able to see, but the quincing and the phantom pains that are gonna assess with it.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Let's see.
I put Ashley's +1 in there before I updated it. Still says 330, but that'll be updated today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't put Olivia's +1 in there either. Okay.
Okay, now MVP. Pius. Who was Pius's MVP?
Alvin, he carried the show today.
In what way specifically?
He led the way. He set up going to the club, and then he set up going back. Well, he set up pretty much everything. There was a lot of silent moments, and then he would set it up to lead to a conversation.
Alrighty. Ashley. Who was Ashley's MVP?
Uh, Pius for him going through that ritual with Lynette.
Alrighty. And Alvin. Alvin, who is your MVP?
I'm making you choose.
Choose how?
I'm abstaining.
Flip a coin.
Well,
I'm making storyteller make this pick because of the fact that I'm just like so empty-headed over here.
if you do this, I will just choose no one and no one will get it.
There we go. We're all punished.
So choose or die or something. I don't know.
I mean, the only two runners are me and Pius right now, so you know what?
He votes Alvin.
Can't vote Alvin. You can only vote Ashley or Pius. Them's the rules.
I'm gonna give it to Ashley for her very wholesome experience with her sire and how that's actually still a functional relationship.
Which
Alrighty, well then now I do have to pick because that's one for each of you. Hmm. 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 I'm going to go ahead and give it to Alvin for rehabilitating Jim and adding another tool to his toolbox. So +1 Alvin.
he is amassing more people.
He is eventually. This is common,
Yep.
whether he likes it or not.
I mean, the funniest thing is that I'm just doing it passively without even aiming to do it. It's just more of like, it's just kind of happening.
Yep, it's that caregiver nature of yours, just coming out,
Very true.
finding people to take in.
I'm not even like, I'm not even employing them because they're the best at what they do.
just opportunity. Hey, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in any case, that is a somewhat shorter than normal session for us, but
Yeah.
we are also down a person. It'd be
Mhm.
kind of nice to go into a fresh night to have us all back up at full.
Yep.
Yes, we need the randomness of our
Malkavian.
Malkavian, yeah.
The randomness of the Malkavian. Hmm?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not even just the randomness, it's also just the fact that, like, when Olivia's here, it seems like we find more revelations than we were expecting.
She's your oracle. There's a reason for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, next session is on May the 11th. Anyone have a problem or conflict?
I do not.
Nope.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I need y'all to promise me that you're going to whip David's ass into getting to see the doctor. You know,
Yep.
if you need to sit on his bad leg and squeeze it until he screams to go in to see the doctor, do it. He brings it on himself.
Oh yeah, the shit. Steph came and worked on my leg, and it helped, but it hurt super bad.
Mm. Yep. Well, you can't just keep putting these things off. You know, there's some necessary shit.
Mhm.
It's
Well, I
true.
hope everyone had fun tonight, even if it was a little slow going.
It was fun.
I was amused.
Well, then I did my job somewhat decently.
You did fine. I'm just scatterbrained.
I think we all are a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I will be again preparing the plot hooks to cometh.
Yes.
And I will see you all in 2 weeks. Well, hopefully sooner than 2 weeks, but yeah, I will see you in good time. So have a
Oh,
good
yeah.
night. Have some nice pain pills, and don't forget to let the dog back in when the dog wants to be let back in.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye.
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 Later.